Там вбивцю рашистів ніяк не знаходить, хто винен, що в нашому полі глухар. Байрактар. Байрактар. Веде пропаганду кремлівський урод, слова пропаганди ковтає народ, тепер нове слово знає цар.
Байрактар.
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 Yes.
The Leaf Spring Army sends its regards.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Enforcer, and I'm accompanied by Enforcer Matt.
And hello, folks, and top of the morning and / good evening to you all. It's good to see you all once again, and we're going to be catching up on questions that we missed from last night.
So this is a fireside chat. And just to make this clear with everyone, this is not going to be covering any news whatsoever, unless if it's in a question. We're going to be making sure to cover all the super chats that were sent in last night. We'll also be covering any of them that are sent in right now, because the stream was cut short last night due to technical difficulties and also me not feeling well. I still don't really feel all that great today. My nose is kind of dry. I kind of honestly feel like I'm getting sick, but hopefully that doesn't happen because it's only 4 days away from Christmas right now. And also, I was looking down there and the Dow was up 1.6. Oh my god. Anyways, we're going to be covering questions. It's not going to be any news, so it's just going to be chit-chatting between me and y'all and everyone who sent in a super chat last night, and maybe even some live chat questions from last night too. So, with that in mind, without further ado, let's get right into the questions. So what do we got, Matthew?
All right, so we do have a few from last night, super chats and also live chats. So first up from our live chats, we have a $50 donation from Praise Adonai, longtime channel viewer, and hopefully they're here, but if not, they can always listen to it on the playback. And Adonai says, Enforcer and Matt, season's greetings to the LSA and you both. Do you feel that the U.S. support is sliding and President Zelenskyy can see the end will come in spring if he does not acquire arms and ammo now? Some reports have turned negative on URK because of shelling in Kyiv.
And thank you so much for the support, Praise That Night. And a really good question, actually. If you're here watching this later, really good one. A great way to start this off. The answer to that is not quite, because right now, as we speak, I believe one of the largest support packages we've ever made is going to be sent to Ukraine here soon. It's just got to go through Congress and, pretty much go through the motions of being approved, and then it'll be on its way. So, by and large, I don't think so. And also, I think that him coming to the United States shows that support is maybe stronger than it has been ever, at least on the symbolism side of things, because he has never come to the United States before, and the idea that he came here and apparently is talking to Congress right now, supposedly, is something really crazy to think about. And so I don't think that support is waning at all. I think it's all pretty incredibly good, actually, even still. And so with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. Praise that. Now, you've been around forever, a channel legend and an old guard here in the Lee Spring Army, and I thank you so much once again for supporting this channel and helping us to keep it running, and I hope we answered that question fairly well too. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
And also, real quick before we move on to our next super chat, I saw Ritz Flying Circus and also Packrat ask if we were going to be streaming on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day and what the Christmas schedule is going to look like. So, Enforcer, would you like to cover that real quick?
So, I've actually been getting some of my friends actually that I talk to when I'm not on stream running this have actually been saying that I should not run on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and a lot of people have been saying that. That's almost been unanimous in the background. I'm not really sure what we're going to be doing for Christmas Eve right now. I know that we're not running on Christmas Day, and a lot of people have also been asking, well, if you're not running on Christmas Day, what are y'all going to be doing for the Sunday night fundraiser? And right now, I'm not really sure what we're doing for that either. I'm not sure if we're going to have one or not, because, considering it's Christmas, I know, one, not a lot of people are going to be on Christmas Day for a live stream, and two, presents, Santa might be making presents, but presents still cost a little bit. And I know that a lot of people wouldn't be really ecstatic going through Christmas and then immediately going into a fundraiser that night and trying to fundraise a whole bunch. So I don't really know what we're doing with the fundraiser. We're still trying to figure that out, and I'm not really sure what we'll do. But I think I'm kind of thinking right now, and this may change later on, we're probably going to run something on Christmas Eve, but we're not doing anything on Christmas Day, and that's also Sunday, and that will then, so pretty much the streaming day, to try and explain this best way I can, the streaming day for us will end on Saturday, and it'll begin again the next week on Tuesday, so we'll be off Sunday and Monday. Jay Burns said, Saturday fundraiser, we're thinking probably a Saturday fundraiser on Christmas Eve, because, a lot of people would be into that, and I think that hopefully we'd be able to still pass the fundraiser goal. We're probably going to make it really, really low that night, because Christmas is just the next day, so it'll probably only be like a $2,500 fundraiser goal, but we're still going to be been determined on running one in one way, shape, or form. However we have to do it, it will be run. And so with that, I hope that answers that question fairly well, and we are on to the next one.
All right, and also, if you haven't heard, Zelenskyy arrived at the White House just about 30 minutes ago, and right now he's talking to the president. So that is sort of unfolding right now, but he will be giving a speech at some point. I'm not sure exactly what time that's going to come on, but maybe it'll be happening while the stream's going on. But if so, we'll keep an eye on that. But moving on to our next super chat, we have a $20 donation from Scott, who says, just an FYI, CNN is reporting that Zelenskyy will be visiting President Biden in Washington tomorrow and possibly addressing Congress, and keep up the great work.
And thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for encouraging us to keep it the great. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Okay, we'll get to those in a minute. I'm sorry, everyone. I was like, it's like, what in the world? Anyways, We'll get to that. Thank you so much, Angel Corner and Susan. We'll make sure to cover both of y'all in just a second. But to get to that, that was past tense. If y'all don't know, that was, of course, sent in last night, and he is here today, surprisingly, first time he's ever left Ukraine, and he's, right now, I think he may be, like Matthew said, meeting with the president, and I believe it's slated that he'll also address Congress today as well. So pretty wild to think that he's actually over here. And I don't know, maybe he'll come down here to Birmingham, Alabama, and he'll talk to us. I can't make any guarantees on that. I'm sure he's got a busy schedule, and Alabama's way off the beaten path. But hey, one can only dream, right? But with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. Thank you so much for encouraging us to do a good job and telling us we're doing a good job. It means a lot to us, especially right now when I don't feel all too well. It was wonderful to go through last night a little bit and read some of the comments that y'all left on the posts where I said I wasn't really feeling well and we would be running a midday stream today. A lot of y'all were very supportive, and that meant a lot to me. And I got to thank y'all so much once again for believing in this channel, believing in what we do, and continuing to support us so that way we can keep this thing going. And so with that, thank you so much once again. I hope we answered that fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right. And up next, we have a $69.69 donation from Angel Corner, who says,
Nice.
I hope you're good, Enforcer.
And thank you so much for the support, Angel Corner. Also, a nice donation number. I'm sure it has absolutely no symbolism, Matthew, whatsoever, or is supposed to mean anything like a joke. But I'm doing okay. I'm doing better today. I got to be honest with you all. I'm still not feeling all that great. I kind of feel like it's really hard to explain. You know how you feel before you really get sick? You know, it's like the day or two before, and it's like, I'm not really feeling like top notch. That's kind of how I feel right now. My nose has no snot whatsoever. It's completely dry. I'm like going through hot flashes all day long, like where you just sit there and like everything feels normal temperature, and then it feels like you catch on fire for a couple of minutes, and then it just stops. I'm kind of going through all that stuff. So I think, in all honesty, Angel Corner, I'm getting sick, but at least I don't feel as bad as I did last night, because thank God, I gotta be honest with y'all, thank God the internet did go out and we couldn't run a stream, because I was feeling horrendous. I just had to sit here at my computer for the next hour and a half afterwards, just doing nothing. Like, I didn't talk to anyone, I just sat here and I did nothing because I felt terrible. So I feel a lot better today. That's one thing for sure. And it was bad. It was bad last night. But thank you so much once again for the support, Angel Corner, and helping this channel to keep on running. That's a massive amount of support, and of course helps us to keep this thing rolling. And so with that, we're on to the next one. But thank you so much once again.
All right. And our next one goes to Susan L. UK, who puts in a $45 donation and says, take care, Enforcer and Enforcer Matt, and give the question to the live chat. And Susan, thank you very much for that support. And luckily, we saved our live chat questions from last night as well, so I do have one to grab. So in honor of Susan LK's donation, the live chat question goes to Christian. Well, actually, that was a question we've already answered, so I'll move on to the next one, which is from Robert Gersner, who says, is there any way you can get information on how many Russians are using VPNs and watching the streams like that?
Sadly, we can't get any information on that, and how many of them use VPNs. Because, one, VPNs are supposed to be encrypted, so if there's some way to gather up information as to how many people are using a VPN, the VPN has completely lost the reason it exists in a way, because it's supposed to protect you from anyone knowing what you're really doing. So if they even know that you're using one, well, it's kind of defeated its own point. So, sadly, we don't know how many of them do that, and we don't know how many of them watch this stream. We know there's a couple of Russian people who do watch this stream, and they've actually made it public every once in a while that they do, which is super cool. I think that's like the neatest thing. But sadly, we really have no way to collect information on how many Russians use VPNs and how many of them get around the blockages that the Russians put on the internet. But with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. I hate we can't really answer that question all too well due to just a straight-up lack of information, but I hope that answered it. And thank you so much once again, Susan L., for the support in sponsoring that live chat. Of course, you've been around forever, like many people have on this channel, and you've also been supporting us a lot as well. And it helps to keep this channel running, helps me to get sick, and then cut stream short. So, with that, thank you so much once again. I hope that did answer the live chat fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, so moving on to our next one, we have a question from Super Bunker 9000, who puts in a $20 donation. And hopefully they got to see that that weapon yesterday with Super Bunker written on the side of it. You know, the
Yeah,
NAFO.
hopefully
They got to see it. Yes. But Super Bunker says Zelenskyy has balls of steel. Chat question, please. And by the way, hot chocolate fund for enforcers. You'll need it.
And Super Bunker, I don't know if you saw, but we actually saw an artillery piece with your name on it. Like, no joke, it literally had your name on it. You need to go back and watch that stream, because we actually called you out on that stream for you to see it, and I hope you do. But getting back to this, I think I will take some hot chocolate. Maybe that'll make me feel a little bit better. And also, could you reread the first part of it, Matthew, before the hot chocolate?
The first part said Zelenskyy has balls of steel, and chat question, please. And also, I was saying in the Discord last night, I think they sent 2 planes over from the United States to go grab Zelenskyy. Why'd they need the second plane?
The second plane's
there's a joke involved in that, by the way.
Okay.
Balls of steel?
Yeah, okay, yeah. For a second there, I actually thought you were being serious. I was like, it's a decoy. Oh, no. I was about to go all nerd. But with that, I thank you so much once again for the support, Super Bunker. I gotta say, Zelenskyy does have balls of steel. Pretty cool to know that he's in the United States right now. Hopefully he doesn't stay. Hopefully he goes back to Ukraine. And I don't doubt him for a minute. He's just over here for a short while. He'll be back over in Ukraine. But still, pretty cool to think that he's here. So with that, thank you so much once again for the support, Super Bonker 9000. I hope that addresses the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. But thank you so much once again.
All right. And our next one goes to Diana DeLuna, who puts in a $20 donation and says, rumor has it Zelenskyy is coming to Washington tomorrow to address Congress. What do you think he intends to say? And also hashtag NAFO.
And thank you so much once again for the support. Also, cool to hear our NAFO members in here again. If you're a member of NAFO, put NAFO in the live chat so that way we know who y'all are and we can put y'all on the list. But moving on that and the joke, I thank you so much once again for the support. And I think if I take a pot shot as to what he's going to say in front of Congress, he's going to thank them all so much for their unilateral support. He's going to encourage them to continue the support that they've been giving to Ukraine so far. And he's probably going to say some stuff like how important it is to support Ukraine and why the United States, it's in the U.S.'s interest to do that. He'll probably say those kinds of things in front of Congress. I would expect him to not say anything way off base from those things. Those would be the basic things that he would like to cover when he gets there. You've got to remember, Zelenskyy is largely a cheerleader, and while a lot of people credit him with the decisions that the military is making in terms of stratagem on the front, he's actually delegated a lot of that to his interior members of the Ministry of Defense. And so a lot of the faceless people, you know, and every once in a while we get introduced to him, like General Bars, are the ones who are pulling off these successful defensives near Kyiv and the successful counterattacks in the Kharkiv Oblast. And so Zelensky's entire job is to go around and just cheerlead for the country and try and garner as much support as they can. And that's probably what he'll be using his address to Congress to do once again. And it may be incredibly important, I believe, considering that this spending bill that we're about to be passing here soon is one of the largest in terms of support ever that we've given to Ukraine. And so he may be trying to make sure that that goes over the top. And so then, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the question fairly well. And we won't really know until, well, that's not really a proper line to use, especially with Zelenskyy, but we won't really know until he gets up there and speaks. But we'll see what he says, and maybe it'll be right on point with what I'm saying. I don't know. But with that, thank you so much once again, and we are on to the next one.
All right. And also, Larry Butler said, will the presentation be in English? He'll probably be speaking Ukrainian, I'd imagine, and they'll just be translating it on the screen.
I want to thank the American Congress for supporting.
That would be cool if he spoke English, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but he can. I mean, like, we've seen him do it before. He can speak English. I think he could probably do it with a teleprompter. It's not going to be perfect English. He's not going to be sitting there, wow, I thank you all so much for your support. He's not going to be like that. But he can still talk English, and I think considering he's addressing Congress, and he'll probably want them to know what he's saying, he'll probably speak English.
Would be pretty cool if he did.
It would be really cool, honestly.
It would. And with that being said, we are on to our next question, which goes to Rain Roth, who puts in a $21 donation and says, we are so comfortable in our corners of the world. Here's a tiny bit for whatever you guys find useful, and Slava Ukraine.
And thank you so much for the support. We find support to be really useful. I'm sorry, everyone. But we find support to be very useful just in general because it allows us to do everything that we need to do behind the scenes, like eat, go to college, things like that. And also pay for gas. Have y'all seen the price of gas these days? I mean, it's dropped a little bit, but even then, even with it being dropped, it's still very expensive. I don't know if y'all filled up y'all's tanks lately, but I believe the last time I filled up mine, it cost 50 to 60 bucks. So really expensive stuff. I mean, like it's, oh man, like you could go on forever about how expensive some things have gotten, but that support helps us out a whole lot in making sure that we can keep everything running behind the scenes and keep surviving, like getting gas. And so with that, thank you so much once again for support. And where did you send that in from? Was that in pounds or something?
I don't think so. I think it was in. Let's see. I honestly don't know.
That's a Norwegian kroner. So thank you so much once again, Rainroth, for the support. I don't know why it didn't click with me for a second, because for a second there, Matthew, I was actually thinking for some reason of Britain. But that is definitely a Norwegian kroner right there, and I just got that totally wrong. But thank you so much once again for the support, Rainroth. You're helping this channel to keep on running, and I thank you so much for supporting us. I also forgot that a lot of y'all are Europeans right now watching the stream. A lot of our European viewers that have to watch the stream after it airs are probably on right now. So if y'all are, let us know, because this may be, like, in a way, a pilgrimage to the live stream without actually having to be on at the normal live stream time. So with that, we are on to the next one. But thank you so much once again, Rain and Roth, for the support and helping this channel to keep on running.
All right, and our next super chat goes to Santiago Flores, who puts in a $20 donation and says, if this trip of Zelenskyy is true, I believe Zelenskyy always upstages Putin like a chess player, pushing Putin's buttons, and great work, guys, and keep it up.
And thank you so much for the support. And I think that this is kind of one-upping Putin a little bit. I would have to say, really, the entire week leading up to this has really been a one-up to Putin. The fact that he even went to Bakhmut and he got so close to the front lines, you could actually hear the shelling and the gunfire sometimes in the background. And not only that, but he's now in the United States just a day later. He's one-upping Putin a lot, because you'll notice that Putin has never gone out of Moscow. He only did once, and it was to St. Petersburg. He has never visited the normal towns in Russia. He's never visited the front lines themselves. This guy is like a hermit compared to Zelenskyy, and he's really one-upping Putin and making it look like he's actually some kind of a scared, paranoid freak, while Zelensky's just traveling around everywhere, getting the best impressions to everyone. So with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. I would totally agree with that. He's definitely one-upping Putin, and with that, we are on to the next one. But thank you so much once again.
All right, and our next one goes to Tony Fleming, who puts in a $20 donation as well, and says, again, just for the hell of it.
And thank you so much for the support, just for the hell of it. And thank you so much once again. I mean, there's not really a lot to add to that, because it just says for the hell of it. So I guess for the hell of it, I mean, like, thank you. And it helps us keep on running. So the hell of it actually is all the hell about it. So with that, we're on to the next. And thank you so much once again for the support.
All right, and up next we have one from BC Skyman, the channel legend, who puts in a 20 himself and says, get well, Enforcer, here's some NyQuil money. Slav Ukraine.
And thank you so much for the support. And thank you so much for being a longtime member of the Lee Spring Army. And the NyQuil, I definitely don't want to use NyQuil on stream because, you know, but at the same time, I got to thank you so much once again for the support. And maybe I'll try and use some of it. I can't use NyQuil. I'd have to use Dayquil because I'm always having to be up and always be going at something. So thank you so much once again for the support. I think he's wanting us to pass out on stream, Matthew.
Oh, wow.
Matthew went, oh, wow. But with that, thank you so much once again for the support. Oh, my Lord. We'll get to that literally right now. But thank you so much once again. I hope that did address the comment fairly well. And with that, we're on to the next one.
All right. And we are on to Mark Slava Ukraine's very generous super chat. He throws in an $80 donation. I'm not really sure, like, the translation of
Matthew,
New Zealand
you're
dollars.
About to have an aneurysm. You're like, he just threw in a 80.
My brain, I'm already not good at math, so I'm trying to, like, translate currency. I'm trying to think about what's the conversion rate, but I really don't know. So I'm going to say $80. But thank you, Mark, very much for that. He says, just for the heaven of it.
And thank you so much, Mark. He's going to, the other guy said for the hell of it. Now Mark's in here countering, saying just for the heaven of it. I got to thank you so much. I think right now, with how I feel, I am somewhere in between heaven and hell. I think it's purgatory. But I got to thank you so much once again for the support, Mark. It helps this channel keep on running, and I know out of anyone in the world, you've helped out this channel a whole load. You, Walter A. Lakota, BC Skyman, Praise Adnai, let's see, Washington. I mean, a load of y'all. Y'all have been helping us out so much, and there's so many of y'all. I can't even name off all of y'all. There's hundreds of y'all who have supported this channel. But I got to thank you so much once again, Mark, for supporting this channel and helping us keep it running. Because even right now, with me being sick, I put a lot of effort into this channel. You know, now I'm tooting my own whistle. That was a bad way to put it. But I try and put as much effort into this channel because I owe it to y'all. I owe a whole load to y'all. Just the fact that y'all watch means a lot to me. And the fact that y'all support us so that way we can keep things running for y'all to keep watching is something that means so much to me. And so with that, thank you so much once again, Mark. That was massive, and I got to thank you a whole load, not just for that one time you've donated right here, but all the other times that you've been able to keep this channel running. And so with that, we are on to the next one, and thank you so much once again for the support, Mark. Also, just in case y'all are wondering, I zoomed in on New Zealand because Mark is there right now, and New Zealand is a really pretty country, really cool place. But with that, we're on to the next one, and thank you so much once again.
All right, and up next we have a $20 super chat from 10K who says, "Good evening, gentlemen."
And good evening, sir. I hope you were doing well when you sent that in, and I hope that when you watch this stream later on, I hope you're doing really well then. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And good evening to you. It's more like good afternoon for us right now, but hey, I'm not counting. Anyway, so that we are on to the next one, and thank you so much once again.
All right, and up next we have a $12 super chat from Cybersecurity Declassified who says, "Keep it up."
And thank you so much for the support and allowing us to keep it up. And I gotta say, you keep it up. You've been an old guard member of this Lee Spring Army. You've been around forever helping us to keep this thing going. And so you keep it up, man. You keep it up. And so with that, we're on to the next one. And thank you so much once again.
All right, and the next one we have is from Level 70, who's been around for a very long time, who puts in a $24 donation and says, "For some neocitrin."
Neocitrin. Well, I got to thank you so much for the support.
Is that like citric acid Coke?
I think it is.
Neocitrin.
I got to thank you so much for the support, DJ. Hold on. I gotta thank you so much for the support, Level 70, and also for the Neocitrin. Now I think I need like a Hall's cough drop. I don't know why, Matthew, but like everything that can go wrong is going wrong with me right now. I feel like I'm falling apart. But I gotta thank you so much once again, Level 70, for the support, and we will try and get ourselves some Neocitrin. Let's see what that is. Neocitrin. So it's cold and flu and fever relief. So it's like NyQuil, pretty much, just another brand. So we'll make sure to get some of that. And with that, thank you so much once again, and we are on to the next one.
All right, and our next one goes to Santiago Flores yet again, who puts in a $20 donation and says, "Good afternoon, guys. Please pick a live chat question and take care."
And thank you so much for the support, Santiago. And if we went without mentioning you, Santiago, we would be completely amiss. You've been around forever. Like I believe as long back as I can remember on this channel, all the way back to the day 4. You've been here before the time of Matt, before the Lee Spring Army, before everything, as far as I can recall. And I got to thank you so much for being here and supporting us once again. And good afternoon to you too. And so with that, let's get a live chat.
All right, so our live chat question this time goes to Hurtney, who says, did we ever hear how many, if any, of the Russian soldiers who are in the Chernobyl power plant died from radiation poisoning?
Of the workers that are in this current war, or the workers from 1986?
Oh, well, no, the Russian soldiers that like camped out there and then they left.
Oh, yeah, we have no idea. We never got an actual number or an accounting on that. We do know that a lot of them were pulled out, however, as casualties from radiation sickness, but even then we didn't get an official number on it. So sadly, we have no idea, but I would assume that the number is at least in the hundreds, maybe even the low thousands. And so with that, thank you so much once again for sponsoring that live chat. I hope we answered it fairly well. And thank you so much once again for supporting this stream and helping us to keep this thing running. And also, Santiago said they are a soldat. No way! I remembered you being around forever. Like, seriously, like, as long back as I can remember, you've been here. Is that right, Matthew? Because I think they're an old guard.
Yeah, I think Santiago is too. So I remember seeing their name like before I was doing the questions.
I got to be honest with you, Santiago. You may call yourself Soldat, but we're going to have to make you an honorary Old Guard member, even if you are a Soldat, because I can't ever think of a time on this channel when you have not been here. So you are definitely an honorary Old Guard, or you can just call yourself an Old Guard if you want to. And so with that, we are on to the next one, and thank you so much once again, Santiago, for being here, and thank you so much for sponsoring the live chat as well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right. And also, folks, for some of y'all that are asking, is this going to replace tonight's stream? It will not. We will still be running one tonight. This is simply a stream to catch up on what we missed last night because of internet issues and also the enforcer coming down with the croak.
Yes.
But anyways, we're moving on to our next super chat, which is from Mark Stewart, who puts in a $50 donation.
Holy
and thank you very much for that, Mark. He says, I've been following you since March, but my hours make it impossible to listen to you live. This is a pleasant surprise in Slava Ukraine.
And thank you so much for the support, Mark. And that's crazy to hear because, it's insane to think that a lot of people have been watching this religiously daily, after the show goes live, like you, Mark. But we never get to really see or hear from y'all much. And of course, we thank you so much for the support. But that's still crazy to think that there's a lot of people out there like you who watch this after it goes live. I sometimes see people in our comments section that I never see on our live stream. And I think it's because they're very similar to you in their situation, but I gotta thank you so much once again for the support. I hope this is a pleasant surprise. Being live in the middle of the day is something we rarely have ever done, and it's because we had to cut the stream short last night, and right now I still feel like I'm going through fever heats. So hopefully I don't have that problem later on tonight, and hopefully I can get enough busy in me or something else that I don't feel it. And so with that, we are on to the next one. But thank you so much once again for the support, Mark. And thank you so much for being, I think if you were watching since March, you would have to be an Old Guard member, or at least here before the times of Matt. That's for certain. But with that, thank you so much once again. I hope we answered that fairly well. And we are on to the next one, and long live the Lee Spring Army.
All right. And real quick, let's go over the poll that I put up. The question is, why do you think Zelenskyy decided to visit the USA at this point in the war? Which is a question we still don't have the answer to, but we might find out during his speech to Congress this afternoon. It looks like 51% of y'all believe to maintain current support, 42% believe that he's trying to gain more financial support, 5% are not sure, and 2% said to take a break from the war. Now, I would have to probably go with he's trying to gain more support, because he's doing a pretty good job of maintaining his current support, simply being in Ukraine. So showing up in person definitely has a bigger effect than simply talking about it from overseas. So I think that's what he's going for. But Enforcer, what say you?
I would say that he's probably here to try and gain more financial support rather than just keeping it the way it is, because right now we see that the Ukrainians are preparing for larger offensives in the future, and those offensives can be even more successfully pulled off if they get more Western arms and aid. So that may be the reason why he's here, in my opinion. But once again, we're all just kind of putting bets into a betting pool right now until he talks, and we'll be able to talk about that later on in tonight's stream because, by that time he'll have said it and he'll probably be on his way back to Ukraine. And so with that, I hope that answers that fairly well. And with that, we're on to next. Real quick, Mandy, throw up a poll for me. I want to see where everyone's from, because it seems that we have a load of European viewers in here that usually can't get on. So put down, where are you from? Put North America, just for Canada, the United States, Europe, for anywhere in Europe, and then put down
Asia?
Yeah, Asia, and then put down Australia/New Zealand as the fourth option, because I would like to see where everyone's from. And also, in case y'all are like, why isn't Africa and South America in there? Statistically, almost none of our viewers come from Africa and South America. Almost all of them come from like East Asia, like Korea, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, or the United States or Canada. So, it's like, oh, yeah, where do they come from? Anyways, with that, we'll get that poll up. We'll see where everyone's from. And with that, we're on to the next one.
All right. And our next one goes to KVisit1984, who puts in a $20 donation and says, Slava Ukraine, give a question to the live chat. You two rock. And he doesn't like Elon Musk.
And thank you so much for the support. And I thank you so much for helping this channel to keep on running. Of course, I cannot talk about Elon from a political perspective because we're apolitical on this channel. I can talk about him, however, from the perspective of him as a personality. And one thing I find interesting is that And, this is something that I always see, and, now that I see it, I guess, I don't know. Like, some of y'all may take this political. This isn't political, but I find it funny. Because back in the day when I ran this channel before Matthew came on, of course, as y'all know, when people come in here and they do crazy stuff, like they're extremely rude, or they say just straight up pro-Russian stuff and try and stir a pot and get people in a fight, we ban them. And I actually used to get a lot of heat from my whole family back when I did that and Matthew wasn't on the channel, that that wasn't right. It's like crushing, free speech, whatever. People ought to be able to come in and say whatever they want, all that kind of stuff. And, now that Matthew's here, I've seen him evolve. He's turned into me, like, in that regard. Like, if anyone comes in here and does anything crazy, they're gone. And that's the way it is, so that way we can keep the live chat civil. What's interesting with Elon is that when he took over Twitter, he said, everything's going to be free speech. He was pulling out all the lines from Voltaire. Even if you talk against me, I will defend your right for free speech. And I think it just came out 2 days ago that he started to ban journalists off of Twitter for saying things negative about him. And I found that to be really funny because it's like everyone whenever they own anything that's a private company, everyone's always for free speech until you get there and people start crapping on you, and then you're not for it, and then you start shutting those people down. I found that really funny. Not on a political perspective, but just from my own standpoint of what I've had to deal with in the background. I was like, I was like, it didn't last long, did it? But anyways, with that, I hope that does address that somewhat. I can't get into it politically, though, because there's a whole bunch there. He's, like many people these days, he's starting to turn more so into a political figure than just a business person. So a lot of the stuff he does, I can't really talk about. But I thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for the support.
All right, and the next one we have is from Fly Eagles Fly, who is a channel legend himself. He puts in a $20 donation and says, "Here's 20 bucks. Feel better." I enjoyed the drone video narrated and starring Matt. Keep up the good work, and the Eagles are now 13 wins to 1 loss. EAGLES, Eagles.
And thank you so much once again for the support, Fly Eagles Fly, and thank you for helping this channel to keep on running. And sadly, 20 bucks will not make me feel better. It will definitely make me get a good laugh, though, and that does make me feel a little bit better. But it won't the illness, but I still like the intent behind it. And also, it's good to hear that the Eagles are still winning. I hope that they keep on winning, because I know that you love the Eagles. Your whole thing is all about the Eagles. So with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. Also, just in case y'all are wondering, from the story I've heard, and once again, I don't follow this a lot, it's not just the flight tracker guy that was banned off of Twitter. I believe, if I'm correct, Matthew, there were just people critical of Elon that have been banned off of Twitter.
Somewhat. He had a kind of a more, I don't know, like, specific reason for getting rid of them. Like, he said some people were spreading disinformation, but then again, it's a double-edged sword, because who determines what's misinformation and what's not?
Well, what's funny to me is that I thought he took over Twitter, and his whole entire thing was Twitter is completely wrong in having little labels on certain people's content saying that this is misinformation of this kind or that kind. And so he said, I'm just going to come on here, it's going to be free speech. And now he's kind of going through and reinventing the wheel and pretty much doing the same thing that the old company did before.
Yeah, I can see that too. I personally don't think Twitter's going to last much longer, just because it seems like the entire company's in turmoil.
Well, I mean, we'll keep an eye on it. Of course, I can't talk about it politically, but I can talk about what I'm seeing. But with that, we're on to the next one.
All right, and real quick, we do have that second poll that's been up for about 5 minutes. It looks like 62% of you are from North America, 34% are from Europe, 1% are from Asia, and 3% are from Australia or New Zealand. So very interesting. I thought more people would be from Europe in the midday stream, but we still have a significant amount of people from North America. So what say you, Enforcer?
And that's pretty interesting to see. A lot of y'all are still from North America. That is insane. Also, Matthew, did you see Matthew Force? We started talking about Elon, just, saying, well, that's kind of interesting that he's doing this. And now, you hate Elon. No, we didn't say we hate Elon. I'm not going to say whether I like him or dislike him, but I do see what I see, and it is what it is. But I'm not going to go through that whole thing, because you can give him a lot of credit for some things, not so much for others. But we're not. So anyways, It's still pretty wild to see that most of y'all are from North America. I thought most of our viewers would be European at this point, but they're not. I think we get more European viewers on the nightly stream than we do right now.
I think so.
And so with that, we're on to the next one.
All right. And our next one goes to Invictus, who puts in a $15 donation and says, I appreciate your effort and ethic and regards from South Africa.
And thank you so much for the support. Also, really cool to hear we have a viewer from South Africa. And I literally just got done a second ago saying that, well, statistically, we don't have any viewers from Africa, but it looks like we have one right now. And I got to thank you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And also, South Africa is a pretty interesting place. I always hear a lot about it, and I've heard that y'all have 7 separate capitals, like capital cities. All of them are considered capitals equal to each other, which is really weird. But with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well, and thank you so much for helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and up next, we have a $10 super chat from Psyops, who says, just stare at the beauty of Oklahoma or the A-10. I'll have to take the A-10, Psyops, I'm sorry.
Oh, man. I mean, Oklahoma, it's kind of interesting. Have y'all ever seen a topographical map of Oklahoma? Or an elevation map of Oklahoma? Let me show y'all that because it's really weird. It'll really throw y'all off. If you put Oklahoma as an elevation map, this is what it looks like.
Oh, that's weird. It's like a staircase going up on the little panhandle part.
Yeah, the little panhandle. That thing just starts rocketing up into the sky. You know, like thousands. I think the difference in elevation from here to the rest of normal Oklahoma is like thousands of feet. You know, and for some reason you would never think it would be that way. But yet the panhandle is just like that in Oklahoma. Really bizarre. Moving on from that, however, the rest of the state's really flat. And I would have to say the A-10 looks better than... I'm sorry, Psyops. I know you love Oklahoma. But the A-10 is better than Oklahoma. And so with that, I thank you so much for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And also, everyone give a huge round of applause to Psyops, who's been a really fun moderator here on our live chat, and has always been throwing around good jokes and encouraging everyone to hit the like button. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
Alrighty, and up next, we have a $50 super chat from Chris S. And thank you very much, Chris, for that very generous support. He says, I run a CNC machine shop living in St. Petersburg, Florida. Check out the pier. And have been watching the previous night's streams at work every day since day 80. And also, I got an Army Green LSA shirt for coming for Christmas. Have a merry one.
Hey, and I'm glad you got one. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much for supporting our channel in another way that's not a super chat. Of course, merchandise sales support this channel, not as much as anything else, but still, we love to know that people do enjoy the Late Spring Army so much that they would actually get shirts with it on it. So thank you so much for that, and let's try and find the pier. It looks like this may be the pier. The St. Pete Pier? I think that's it. Wow, that's a rendering. Oh, that's really crazy looking. Look at that thing. It looks like a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
I've heard that St. Pete is pretty wealthy.
I mean, hell, I would say so. Look at this place. Like, they got sailboats and everything out here. They even got a pelican, man. Like, what city is rich enough to afford pelicans? I can't think of one.
Even the pelican looks refined. He said, good sir, what do you want?
You know, that pelican up there, man, you'd say there, yes, fish, delicious, yes. It's like that.
Yes.
But anyway, I gotta thank you so much once again for the support. Really cool to hear that we have a viewer from St. Petersburg, Florida. And I don't know, maybe one day we'll come around there and we'll visit the place. Honestly, I was thinking, if we ever reach 1 million, oh my lord. Anyways, if we ever reach 1 million subscribers, I think we'll actually go on a national tour in a way to meet fans, because by that point I know we'll have enough fans in any part of the country and any part in the world to actually meet up with a lot of people in a certain spot. So maybe we'll do that in the future if we reach 1 million. Hopefully I won't get shot at one of those. But anyways, with that, thank you so much once again for the support. It is really cool to hear that one of our viewers is from St. Petersburg, Florida, which is a pretty rich place. And I know the next super chat we're about to read, Matthew, and they're from an equally wealthy part of the country. So let me start flying over there while you read it off.
All right, so real quick, let me grab one more live chat that I just saw. So, there we go. So the next one we have is from Donna Olson, who puts in a $100 donation. And Donna, thank you very much for that as well. Donna says, Beverly Hills in the house. I'm a longtime watcher, first-time donator. So Merry Christmas, guys, and Slava Ukraine.
And thank you so much for the support, Donna Olson. And thank you so much for the first time you donate. That's a massive super chat. That's incredible. And I got to thank you so much for donating like that, especially this close to Christmas. It means a lot to us, helps this channel to keep on running. It helps us keep things going behind the scenes. And so I got to thank you so much for that. And also, really crazy to hear you from Beverly Hills. We've had people actually point out, like, go to Beverly Hills. Look at Beverly Hills. I don't think we've ever actually had someone from Beverly Hills ever send in a super chat. I don't think, if I'm correct, Matthew.
I'm pretty sure not. I think there was like somewhere else close by from California that sent in a super chat, but not exactly Beverly Hills. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at this place. This is called the Greystone Mansion, and it's like a historical site in Beverly Hills. And it's beautiful, man. Look at this thing. This is impressive.
That is very nice, actually.
Is
Is that koi pond?
I don't know. I think it might be a koi pond. It's got little lily pads in it and stuff. Really nice. This is a really nice place. Also, look at the view they got. Man,
Wow.
what a view. I mean, that's a really impressive view. I think that's high up enough that in the morning, like when the smog is all in Los Angeles, like they can see over the smog. I don't know. Like I'm actually serious about that, maybe. Los Angeles also, if y'all don't know, has a massive problem with smog because all of the pollution that they create, it's kept in Los Angeles. It's not allowed to float out into, the great open. It keeps in here because the mountains around it keep all the pollution in like this little bowl. And so Los Angeles has a really bad problem with smog sometimes. But moving on from that, really cool. Let's drop down on a street view. Oh, hang on. Gotta wait for that little notification to disappear. I'm sure they'll get a friend invite from someone. Anyways, we'll drop down and take a look at Beverly Hills. Man. This has got to be. I think this is the wealthiest place in the country. I don't know. If anyone.
I think that goes to Martha's Vineyard.
I thought it was Franklin near Nashville.
I think that might be the second or third.
Man, that's crazy. Also, I think Birmingham, Alabama, has one of the richest places in the country, Mountain Brook. I think they actually qualify as like one of the wealthier places up there in like the top 10 or something like that.
I don't think so. But for Alabama, it's pretty wealthy.
For Alabama, Mountain Brook is the wealthiest part of our state. So if y'all ever come to Alabama, you'll want to see some like wealthy place. For Alabama terms, it would be Mountain Brook. But still, really cool, really nice. Actually, they've got these streets well paved and everything. They're like Disney streets almost. Like actually really impressive. So with that.
Oh, also, Donna said the Jerry Lewis movie, The Disorderly Orderly, was filmed at the Gravestone Manor.
Really, that is super. Well, look at honestly, wow. Forget the Greystone Mansion. Look at the house beside it. Like that thing's even bigger.
Is that even a house? Or is that like a compound?
I think that might be Walmart Deluxe. Because, golly, they even got like the little baseball pattern in the grass. That's when you know you've made it in life, is when you get that little baseball pattern in your lawn. But they got a tennis court. They've got whatever this is. I'm assuming that may be a swimming pool down there. Golly.
Also, Donna Olson put in another $10 super chat, and thank you for that, by the way, and says wealthiest zip code is Fisher Island, Florida, believe it or not.
Fisher.
And I honestly did not know that. That's crazy. I don't even know where that is.
Fisher Island, Florida. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It looks manicured from the sky.
I could see that. Where is this? Miami? Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay, Miami.
Also,
that explains it.
I like how this is the wealthiest zip code in the country, but they're right beside the industrial port of Miami. It's like, honey, I'm enjoying our day drinking martinis. As a cargo ship just sails right by your house. They must have a bad problem with erosion here, considering how big the ships are, like sailing past. But man, do they even have a street view of this thing? No, they don't. That's how wealthy this place is. Well, the Fisher. Let's drop down here. Oh, hell, you can't even get on the island. Also, I like that. That's that's something.
Well, they painted them green at least. You can kind of like, you can't miss them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't
miss that.
But man, I can see why this place is pretty high end. I mean, they got a golf course and everything, and a whole private marina. This is something crazy. But with that, thank you so much once again for the support, Donna Wilson. Thank you so much for helping this channel to keep on running. And also, really cool to take a look at your hometown, I guess you could say, of Beverly Hills. And so with that, we are on to the next one. But thank you so much once again for the support.
All right. And our next one is going to go to Alan Kenny, who puts in a $20 donation. And Alan does not leave a comment. But Alan, thank you very much for the super chat support. And I'm pretty sure that you are a longtime viewer, but that might be your first time supporting the channel. So we appreciate it very much, Alan. And thanks for helping to keep us running. And Enforcer probably has a word or two to say himself.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. It, of course, means a lot to us. And without y'all's support, it wouldn't be possible. And so I got to thank you a whole load because y'all make this possible for us to be on here each and every day. And so with that, thank you so much once again for support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. To be honest with y'all, I'm going to have to start speeding this up a little bit because I'm starting to feel kind of a little rough, like a little bit more than I was before. So with that, on to the next one.
All right. And our next one goes to Opus, who puts in a $15 donation and says, want to see a Swedish old Cold War fortress? Check out Boden Fortress, Radsberg Fortet. I have no idea if I said that right, but that's my old station, and also LSA Sweden.
And thank you so much for the support all the way from Sweden. And it looks like this is the fortress. And oh man. If I came here, I would never leave. This is a cool place. Oh man, look at, they even got a sign that says restricted area, enemy entry prohibited to aliens. You see, in Sweden, they don't have normal people trying to get their military secrets. The Swedish are so far ahead of everyone technologically, it's actually the aliens who are landing from space trying to steal all their secrets. So they have to tell them that they can't come in. I'm just kidding anyways. Maybe go for that. Oh man. Oh my god. This is something cool. I mean, I would assume that this is probably 1920s, 1930s era fortress. Even earlier than that, probably even 1890s if I had to take a guess. So freaking cool. I love places like this. Oh man, I could spend all week here. And in case you're wondering, Matthew, this whole thing you're seeing right here, you know, like the dark area that looks like it's coal, that's concrete.
Yes.
That's the fortress.
Oh, wow.
That is so freaking cool. It's literally just dug into the ground, built in there. And we can see it's in the middle of what appears to be a much larger military compound. You can see shooting ranges. Wow, that's a nice one. That looks like a 700-yard range. But still, really cool. And thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right. And next up, we have a $10 super chat from White Lightning 777, who says, would calling attention to Russia's social problems to highlight their mismanagement of society help to discredit Putin to his fans worldwide, addiction rates, abortion rates, lifespan, etc.? And you know, honestly, I don't think it would personally, because I think the people that follow Russia, they don't really care.
And I thank you for the support, but one thing you got to understand, White Lightning, a great point, but the people who believe that Russia is for them are, I gotta say, they gotta be of low intelligence or something, or they must not be able to connect dots together all too well. Because they'll talk about wanting to kill everyone in the West, and then these people will go, well, not me! Like, what? Like, come on, man. Like, they're gonna get you too. You know, if they come over here, they're not gonna discriminate. Hell, they rob people's houses in the DPR and LPR that actually supported Russia annexing them, and they'll still treat them like crap. These people wouldn't be any different, but they wouldn't care. The only moment that they would realize that they made a mistake is when a Russian walks into their house and tries to steal something, and that guy says, hey, you can't be in here, and then that Russian puts a gun right up onto his forehead and pulls the trigger. For that split second, you'll be like, oh crap, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have supported these people. They're bad people. But until then, they probably wouldn't even listen. And you know, and I hate to say that because I always wanted to think that people can be reasoned with and talked to, but you know, they can't. And most people, you know, it's always a good idea, but most people are been determined in their mindset. I mean, hell, I remember one time I went to go get a gun, and I went to the gun store. I was like, man, have you seen what's going on in Ukraine? Now, I'm pro-Russian, and nothing you're going to say is going to change my mind. Like, immediately said that, like, without even being prompted. And I was like, all right. I was like, I guess I won't talk about that. But with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And also, if y'all are going to start asking where that gun store was, I'm not going to say, because I'm not into getting people just destroyed over something. You know, if y'all find the guy and y'all hear it, then y'all can. But anyways, with that, we're on to the next one.
All right. And up next, we have a $10 super chat from Team Koji 17, who says Putin is playing checkers while Zelensky is playing chess with his trip to Bakhmut. Give question to the chat, please.
Thank you so much for the support. And I would say he is, and we'll make sure to give that over to the live chat. And so with that, what do we got?
All right. And the live chat question goes to WNNR1957, who says, Enforcer, do you think there are any active foreign or domestic intelligence agencies seeking to kill Putin to end the war?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty. We know that the Ukrainian SBU is probably in there trying to do that right now. There's
Probably the FSB is trying to kill him too, to be honest.
I mean, the FSB is probably trying to take a shot at him, and you know for sure that the CIA is probably looking into having him offed, and that wasn't even a wartime deal. That's just a constant deal, seeing, hey, if we wanted to off that guy, could we? And you know, they're like, well, right now we probably have a pretty good excuse. And so with that, I hope that answers the live chat fairly well, and thank you so much once again for the support. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And also, for those of you that were wondering, it looks like Zelensky's address will be a joint address to Congress, and it is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. EST. So for us, that's going to be 6:30. But for everyone else,
yeah.
Yes, for everybody else, it's going to be 7:30 Eastern. So good to know. And hopefully that plan stays steady, because that's just, I guess, rumors, because it says according to two sources that are familiar with the matter. So it might change. But anyways, on to our next super chat. We have a $10 donation from E3ECO, who says, for aspirin, I hope you feel better soon.
And thank you so much for the support. We will make sure to use that for aspirin and other kinds of pain relievers. I need them. And so with that, thank you so much once again. And we are on to the next one.
Alrighty. And up next, we have a $10 super chat from Chip Kerwan, who says, how will Kyiv jerry-rig J-dams to take out bridges and orcs?
I'm not really sure. That would be some technical expertise that I'm not really privy to, and I don't really have enough knowledge to answer. But we always know that if there's a will, there's a way. They were able to somehow mount AGM-88 harms onto MiG-29s and Su-27s, and if they can do that, they can do just about anything. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to answer that question, but I'm sure there's an expert that would have an idea as to how it'll be rigged up to work. But with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for the support.
And next up, Landlubber donates $10 to the Enforcer Get Well Soon Fund.
And thank you so much, Landlubber, for the support. And hopefully I will get well soon. Regardless, tonight, unless if there's internet difficulties again, I will be running the stream. I don't really feel that hot right now. I have a feeling I probably won't be feeling any better later, but I will be running the stream. I'll just have y'all know, though, that it's not going to be the high-energy, high-stepping kind of stream that we normally run, where, you know, I'm all excited, full of jokes. I got to be honest with y'all, right now, I hardly feel good at all. Like, I honestly feel worse now than I did when I started the stream. But we'll make sure to run it nonetheless. We'll cover all the important news. It may be a little bit shortened. We'll see. We'll just have to play it by ear and see how it goes. But we will run one tonight. And so with that, thank you so much for supporting the Get Well Fund. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right. And up next, we have a $10 super chat from Danny Van Stralen, who says, for the Christmas Fund, and greetings from Belgium. By the way, did you have a look at the World War I German officers' buildings, the colony at AS?
I didn't. And where was that?
It's called the Colony, like KOLONIE at AS.
KOLO Colonia?
No, it's like DE space colony, but spelled with a K.
I think
it's not Cologne.
Yeah, I think that's just Cologne, but spelled I think either in a Belgian way or a German way. I'm not really sure.
Here, I put it in the live chat.
Let's see. Let me see. I'm just gonna copy and paste that. Probably the easiest thing to do. Let me see if I can. Oh, dang it. One second. I'm just gonna scroll up and copy, paste.
Oh,
is
it a restaurant?
Is it?
He said that the World War I German officers' buildings. So, is this where they hung out?
Maybe.
Look at Dachshund.
Oh, look at it. He's a ween.
Oh, wow.
Look at it. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Also, it's got a nice little dog playground right there, like a whole slide and everything. And then they got, wow, man, y'all people in Belgium, y'all eat good. I don't know what that is. Like
Nice.
half cookie. Is this? I want to say grilled cheese. Kind of looks like Texas toast. I have no idea what it really is supposed to be. Maybe French toast. But man, everything looks good at this little place. Like if this is the place you're talking about, and this was the officer course, this is a really cool place, and I would love to come here one day and just eat. But with that, thank you so much once again for the support. Also, a lot of pictures of people eating. I guess that comes with a Tavern de Coloni. But with that, we're on to the next one. Thank you so much once again for the support, and I hope I addressed that fairly well.
All right. And also, since Beer Monster asked for it, yeah! And with that being said, we're on to our next super chat, which goes to Opus, who puts in a $10 donation, I believe, for the second time, and says, I hope we get into NATO soon, but at least Spring Army is heart. Cheers from Sweden.
And thank you so much once again from one of our Swedish viewers for supporting this channel. And also, I hope y'all get in soon as well, because, of course, Sweden and Finland joining NATO would be a massive boost to the alliance's size and also their ability. And not only that, the Swedes are just a cool country all around. I really like Sweden. Also, one other thing, I thank you so much for being a Lee Spring Army soldier. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right. And up next, we have a $15 super chat from Banana Boat 30 Plus, who says, good morning, Vietnam. Looking at the Russian media, they wish to bum rush Moldova from northern Ukraine. The old Aussie saying goes, you can't blank in one hand and wish in the other and see what fills up first.
You can't shit in one hand and wish in the other what sees what fills up first, mate.
But anyways, that was a terrible Australian accent. I'm sorry about that. But thank you so much once again for the support. And bum rush Moldova from northern Ukraine. Hey, man, I'm just saying, if that's their plan, they can't even bum rush Bakhmut, which is only about 4 miles wide. How in the world are they going to bum rush the whole Ukraine and reach Moldova? Ah, man, they're once again living in a dream. I got to tell you, don't be honest. They're never going to do that. But thank you so much once again for the support. Thank you for letting us know about what kind of Russian insanity still exists out there. And with that, we are on to the next one. Thank you once again for the support.
All right, so moving on to our next one, we have a $10 super chat from Chaotic, who says, get well soon.
And thank you so much once again for support, Chaotic, and I will try and get well soon. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
Okay, and up next, we have a $10 super chat from eGame1122, who says, Russian annexed territories so that they could use mobilized troops to defend Russia. That logic would not hold for a second attack on Kyiv with mobilized forces. What say you?
It really wouldn't, because they would have to start taking ground that they've never annexed technically on their side. But you got to remember that the Russians are only a one-sided rules applier. If the rule has to be bent or broken for them to do something, they will do it. Because they have to try to get this thing going somehow, and that is probably one of their options of last resort. Right there is the second Battle of Kyiv. And so with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. I saw someone in the live chat just say earlier, Matthew, you sound pretty good. That's because I'm putting a lot of effort into sounding really good, and I hope that I sound okay, but I feel terrible. I'm not even kidding. I don't want to make it sound like I'm dying over here, but man, I've had better days. And so with that, we're on to the next one.
Right, and up next, we have a $10 super chat from Avari Mandubratis, who says, I'm glad you feel better, Andrew. I am about to start a work conference call, so I can't stay, but please pick a question from the live chat and cheers.
And thank you so much for the support, Avari. I hope you were having fun on that conference call. And also, I just said, I'm feeling worse now than before. He's like, I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm still feeling better than last night. That's one thing for sure. While I'm feeling worse than when I started, still feeling better. And I got to thank you so much once again for the support and wishing the best on us. And I hope that I do feel better tonight, so that way I can run the stream. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for the support.
And real quick, to address that live chat question that I've already asked for, the question goes to Slim, who says, Enforcer, when does Finland and Sweden deal get finalized for NATO?
We don't really know. It takes a different amount of time for each country, and it appears that NATO was kind of giving Sweden and Finland a whole bunch of extra time, so I'm not really sure when. But I have a feeling it will be concluded by the time of spring of 2023. And so with that, I hope that does answer the question fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one. Thank you once again for the live chat and also for supporting one, Avari. And with that, on to the next one.
All right. And up next, we have a $10 super chat from Suzanne B, who says, Christmas Eve is my 1-year anniversary of my cancer diagnosis. And goodness, I have roots that flow to Ukraine. I'm still alive, and so is Ukraine. Neither of us will stop until we have our freedom. And Suzanne, I am very sorry to hear that, and I hope you get a full recovery.
And that is terrible to hear, Susan. Is it Suzanne or Susan?
Suzanne.
And that's terrible to hear, Suzanne, because cancer is something that we haven't really been able to beat yet, disease-wise. It appears that we are trying our best efforts, but sometimes it just never really comes together. But I gotta still thank you so much for the support. I hate to hear that it's been 1 year since then, and I hope that you that they eventually beat it and get it over with, and you can just go about with like a normal life, not having the illness. But still, I thank you so much for the support. I wish you the best. I hope you get better, and I hope that you've either defeated the cancer already, or you are in the process of winning against it. And with that, thank you so much once again. I hope you've enjoyed these streams. I hope we've made it fairly enjoyable and able to pass the time. And with that, we are on to the next one. Thank you so much once again.
All right. And up next, I want to recognize a few super chats left without comments. We have several $5 donations. The first one is from HerpDerpNV. We also have another one from Chaotic, and we have one from Jburn as well. So thank you to all three of you for that support and helping to keep us running. And let's see here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any, and it doesn't look like I did. So thank you all once again for that. And up next, we have a $5 super chat from Lewis Bryant, who says, Enforcer, I'm a long-time listener, but first-time super chatter. Y'all rock.
And thank you so much. You rock for supporting this channel and helping us to keep it running. And you also rock for watching this channel so much. Of course, I always say that support matters, but it's not always about the support. Sometimes it's about just watching. And I think it's wonderful to know that a lot of people have been watching this channel like you for so long and have just been enjoying it a whole load. And I hope you all continue to enjoy it. I hope it's good news that y'all enjoy. I hope this channel is something that y'all just really like. All the videos we come out with, all the streams we make, I hope you all enjoy them all. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support, and you rock. And so with that, we're on to the next one.
All right. And up next, a fellow that apparently likes the my favorite car of all time, the BMW E30, Mr. E30, puts in a $5 donation and says, wishing you both a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And thank you so much, BMW E30. We also wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And what the hell are we doing talking to inanimate objects?
I gotta say, Merry Christmas to you, E30. I've been looking at the car for a super long time.
I mean, like, you know, Matthew's best dream would be for you to be under the tree with a little bow on top of it. I don't know how you'd fit a BMW E30 under a tree, though. I feel like the tree would fit under the BMW E30, although those things are kind of low to the ground. But anyways,
if you get it in 1/18 scale, it can fit under there.
I mean, you're right. True. But thank you so much once again for the support, and we are on to the next one. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of y'all as well. But we'll make sure to say that if we run a stream on Christmas Eve. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and up next, we have a $5 super chat from the B Knight 3, who says, Zelenskyy should be live in a few hours. Will you cover the broadcast as it airs today?
We'll cover it after it airs, most likely on our normal stream at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I can't really see covering it live because I don't really feel that well, and I want to try and like pace myself for the nightly stream tonight. So I don't want to do like 3 streams in a row today because that will be horrendous for me, and I feel like that'll really wear me out if anything has, and I don't even have a lot of energy to speak of right now. And so with that, I hope that does answer the question fairly well. Thank you so much for the support, and we are on to the next one.
All right. And our next one goes to Neoclassic YouTube, who puts in a €5 excuse me. Got to do a little cough myself. A €5 donation and says, Matt, great video on Monday. Have another coffee, and Slava Ukraine, Heroem Slava, and Slava LSA. And Neoclassic, thank you very much for the compliment. I liked that video. It was a short one, 5 minutes long, but I thought it packed a lot of information into a small amount of time, which was my goal. Sadly, though, it doesn't look like the thumbnail did any favors for the viewership on it because it didn't perform as well as I thought it was going to be. But nonetheless, I have many more videos planned. The next one will probably be going on my personal channel, and then I'm going to make another one for the Enforcer channel. So I'm going to kind of alternate between the two. Surprisingly, my channel is growing decently fast, faster than I thought. So I definitely want to keep some content going over there as well. But thank you very much for the support and the compliment, and I do appreciate it very much. And moving on to our next super chat, we have a $5 donation from Matthew Drum, who says, I would put more, but I would put more, but times are rough. I just want to let you know what's up with Bakhmut.
And thank you so much for the support. And it's perfectly fine. I mean, like, you could just throw in a live chat, and we'd be happy for you to just be here and sending in a live chat. So I got to thank you so much for any support, and it means a whole load to us. And I hope that times do get better for you. I hope things turn around and your luck starts improving. And also, thank you so much once again for enjoying this channel and what we do. And so with that, we are on to the next one. And thank you so much once again for the support and allowing us to keep this thing rolling.
Yes, indeed. And up next, we have a $5 super chat from Opus. Excuse me. I'm really going to start coughing out. The Enforcer's doing it. But Opus puts in that $5 donation and says, Turkey and Hungary are blocking Sweden at the moment. Finland is clear for NATO AFAIK.
And thank you so much for the update, and we will be making sure to keep apprised of all of the NATO news we can. I thought the Turks weren't blocking that anymore, but if they are again, that'll be pretty interesting to hear. And so with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and up next, we have a $5 super chat from Anthony Bestwick, who says, can't you run fundraiser timers for longer than, say, 24 hours? And also, the Enforcer Matt, that toy, go to with toy. Anthony, are you still coming at me for my honey badger, man?
I think you would support Anthony. And I would make them longer, but the thing is that I like the fundraisers we run to be special. I like them to happen on the stream. They only happen on the stream, so you've got to be here supporting that fundraiser on stream, or you know, just really hardly not support at all. There's usually like 30 minutes after the stream where you can still support, but we like to make them where they're actually special and something that everyone can celebrate at the time it's happening, and something that we can all work towards together live. So pretty neat idea, but I always like to keep them just as long as the stream is running, pretty much. But with that, thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and the next one we have is from Pure For Real, who puts in a $5 donation and says, thanks for all the hard work you guys put into these streams. NL guy living in UK with US wife, now in the Midwest due to Christmas. Yeehaw! And it's love Ukraine.
And thank you so much for the support. And I wish you a Merry Christmas as well. I hope you'll have a fun one out there in the Midwest. And I wonder how much of a shock it is to go from Britain, civilized Britain, to like the Midwest, where in some places it's still almost like the Wild West. You know, like,
yeah,
like we've been out there, and funnily enough, a lot of people wouldn't believe it, especially if you're from the eastern United States or directly west, like right on the western coastline. But the Midwest in some places is still, like, I would say at the worst, about 40 to 50 years behind the rest of the country. Like, some of the places still look like they're in the 70s and the 80s sometimes, and it's not bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just really bizarre, especially coming from a place like Alabama where, you know, things can generally be kept up to date, and then to go to a place like Wyoming where outside of Jackson Hole and Cheyenne, every other place looks like it's still in like the 80s in a way, and I'm like, that's just so wild. Like, really cool though. I thought it was really neat that it was still kind of like, I guess you could say, remote-ish in a way out there. But with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. I hope you're enjoying it out there. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and up next, we have a $5 super chat from Matthew Drum once again, who says, from Massachusetts, you got to come check out Chicopee. We got Springfield next door, and also the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And thank you so much for the support. In Chicopee, Massachusetts, I have a feeling it's on the coast. Nope, Chicopee, right here. Chicopee, Massachusetts. Or as one of our teachers used to say in high school, man, the Massachusetts. Yeah, let's see here. Got a good laugh out of that, didn't you? Yeah, it looks like a pretty neat place. I like how it's on the Connecticut River. And also, it's just right up from Springfield. So with that, I thank you so much once again for the support. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. Maybe we'll go up to Chicopee one day and check the place out. Also, not to say a lot, and we're going to keep the name of this teacher anonymous because, you know, I know they're not watching, but that teacher, man, oh boy, if you were in that class, they did a number on your knowledge of history. They would just tell you things that were flat out wrong, like America invented the steam train, the steam engine, the propeller. Matthew always liked that one, the propeller.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Oh
You know,
man,
you
yeah,
know,
she messed up everybody's knowledge of history, even mine, which is pretty limited. I was like, that cannot be right. She
like,
said so many things that were wrong. It was
like,
cringy.
this teacher said that the War of 1812 happened exclusively on the Great Lakes, and it didn't happen anywhere else. The sacking of Washington D.C. and the Battle of New Orleans never happened, according to this teacher. Like, never.
Alabama education, baby.
Yeah, I mean, and then I actually got yelled at because one time she showed a commercial, and I know that this will really resonate with a lot of British viewers because they know what company I'm talking about, from Sainsbury's, which is a frozen foods store pretty much in Britain, and they made a commercial that celebrated the Christmas truce of 1914. And so she showed it and talked about how all of these American soldiers were just tired of fighting this long drawn out war. Keep in mind, Christmas truce in 1914, by that point, the war had only been going on for 4 months. Nothing long and drawn out about it at all at that point. And sat there and said they were Americans. I was like, oh, I think they're British because the uniforms they were wearing in the commercial were clearly British. Like, there was nothing American about them. And so she said, Andrew, can it? And like, that was it. Like just acted like a straight up idiot in front of the whole class. And I wasn't being rude about it or anything. I was like, I think those are British people. She's like, can it? I was like, okay, butthole. I was like, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know how you got this job, but okay. But anyways, with that, it just said fairly well. And we're on to the next thing. Thank you so much once again for the support.
All right, and we also have a $10 super chat from Stephen Bro, who says, Merry Christmas to you two sick something here.
Merry Christmas to you two sick animals. Here's your change, you filthy animal. But still, thank you so much once again for the support. And thank you so much for supporting us, even while I'm sick. Matthew's okay, but I'm sick. And so with that, we are on to the next one. Thank you so much once again.
All right, and we have a handful of super chats left that don't have comments on them. We have a $4 super chat from Eric Bro, and we have several $2 donations. We have one from Dupper Bob, William Stamper, also Dupper Bob again, and Mark Andre Brunette. So thank you to all 5 of you for that support, and we do appreciate it very much. And Enforcer, what say you about these final super chats?
I gotta thank all of y'all so much for your support. If it wasn't for y'all, it wouldn't be possible to run this stream, and we owe a lot to y'all. But everyone watching who hits the like button, everyone who's just here right now, everyone who supports this channel, we owe everything to y'all, and that's why we're here right now, making sure to answer all these questions and comments that were sent in last night that we weren't able to get to. But real quick, now that I know that we've rounded out those super chats, and I got to thank you all so much once again, I know we're about to be entering a live chat section, and I got to be honest, I'm not feeling all too well. I think we're going to answer 5 of them, and then we're going
I don't have 5.
Oh, you
I
don't
only have like 3.
Oh, okay, we'll answer those 3 then, and then we'll be rounding out the stream, and we'll be getting ready for the one that'll happen at 10 p.m. Eastern Time here in another couple of hours. And so with that, what is our first live chat question?
So the first one goes to Diamond, who says, do you guys think that if Belarus joins Russia's war, other countries will actively join and help Ukraine directly?
I don't think so, because at that point, it would be a third world war. And so if they joined and went into Ukraine, they would also be going into Belarus and directly into Russia probably at the same time. And then we all know where that'll go. So with that, I hope that answers that question. We're on to the next one.
And the next one we have is from Mono Paul, who says, why are EU-NATO countries doubling defense budgets instead of mass donating to Ukraine? What enemy do we have over here besides Russia? Is it simply German-led EU cowardice? I think they're preparing for war in case Russia decides to go ham and attack them.
Yeah, they're preparing for war because while it's great to support Ukraine, you always have to also keep your own interests balanced. You know, you can't, like, the United States can't go, you know what, we're going to send the entire U.S. military budget. We're just going to slash the budget down to 0 for the U.S. military this year. We're going to send it all to Ukraine because there's only so much they can do with that money. There's so many people in Ukraine that can't, you know, get a 1,000,000-man army like the United States. It's just with the money because they don't even have enough people for the most part to do that with. But moving on from that, they've got to be ready to go to war as well. And considering that they're supporting Ukraine and things are looking really tense, they're seeing that it's about time to start boosting our military budgets to be ready for whatever will come next. Kind of like how Japan now has the second largest military budget in the world behind the United States, and that's primarily for the purpose of fighting and obliterating the Chinese in the future. And you know, if that doesn't tell you how things are going over there, I don't know what will. And so that, I hope that answers the question, and we are on to the next one.
All right, and real quick, we have one more super chat to go and one final live chat question. And the super chat goes to Psyops, the mod, who puts in a $10 donation and says, "Man, that Oklahoma sure is beautiful. Better stare at it for a while."
Man, that Oklahoma shit is beautiful. Oh man, let's look at the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, the Cherokee. Interestingly enough, this is where the Cherokee Nation is now. If you click on it, I believe, it'll show you the borders of the Cherokee Nation. Oddly enough, if you know anything about history, the Cherokee actually were in the middle of Alabama, around here, and we took them and we pushed them out there. And now they own a quote-unquote nation in a way, like the Choctaw do. It's kind of interesting because a lot of Oklahoma is Indian territory still. And in case y'all are wondering, you know, because a lot of people call Indians Native Americans, I've actually talked to some Indians before, and oddly enough, they much rather prefer the name Indian than Native American. And also, if you ever look at any official legal text about Indians, they're called Indians. Like if you look at the U.S. Indian Board, and I'll show you this. One second. The Bureau, I'm sorry, I got the name wrong. The Bureau of Indian Affairs. These deal with quote-unquote Native Americans, but their legal term still is Indian, and that's why it's the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And they speak directly on the behalf of all Indian nations here in the United States. Really interesting. It's something kind of odd, really, when you think about it, because a lot of people have been in a push to get rid of the word Indian to describe Native Americans. But when you actually talk to Native Americans, a lot of them, the most of them that I've talked to, said that they prefer the term Indian instead. So, you know, I just used instead. But anyways, with that, I hope that does address that a little bit. So thank you so much once again for the support. And I hope you enjoyed us looking at the state of Oklahoma. And with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and the final live chat question of our midday stream until we start our stream tonight goes to Mixology, who says, "I've read a report that said Germany is nowhere near prepared to defend their land. It seems they've been negligent for far too long. And have you heard about this report?"
I've heard about it a little bit. It's somewhat true in a way that the German military is not large enough to do much like many European militaries are at this point. And I think we'll be seeing that they'll start having a larger recruitment, I guess you could say, requirements, quotas, and such going into the future, and they're really going to start ramping up the sizes of their military and also the amount of equipment in their military to get ready for anything that may be coming their way. They may go back into a Cold War era mindset where these militaries have to be large enough where they could go into a full-blown war at any given moment. And so with that, I hope that does address that question fairly well, and we are on to the next one.
All right, and for our last super chat, we have one from Neoclassic YouTube once again, who puts in a €5 donation and says, "Here's another 5 for coffee. I'm actually lucky that you had to postpone the stream because I can finally watch the stream live in Slava LSA."
And thank you so much, Neoclassic, for the support, and thank you for another coffee. Coffee helps us out a lot. So not right now. I'm okay without a coffee right now, but it will help us out later tonight. And so with that, thank you so much once again for supporting Neoclassic YouTube. I hope that does address the comment fairly well. And long live the Lee Spring Army. And so with that, we are on, I think, to the final question of the stream, and then we'll be rounding it out.
That actually was the last one.
Oh, well, even with the live chats included?
That's right.
Oh, crazy. Well, nice. We've reached the end of the stream. I thank you all so much once again for watching. If y'all did enjoy, make sure to hit the like button. This one isn't really going to be shared around a lot. I know that for sure. It's just a question segment. But if y'all did enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe as well. We don't run these streams ever. We usually run a nightly news stream at 10 p.m. Eastern time every day of the week, except for Mondays, where we cover the past 24 hours of the news of the war in Ukraine. And so with that, I thank you all so much once again for watching. I'll see y'all all at 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight to cover the news, and take care. Good luck, and I'll see y'all then.
Yes. The Leaf Spring Army sends its regards.
усміхнеться доля, згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануємо ми, браття, у своїй сторонці, душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду, душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми